And we are live, it looks like. I wasn't quite ready, but because I'm now broadcasting to Facebook as well, if you don't do it within, I think, 9 minutes from when you set it up to go, it doesn't go to Facebook. So I had to rush and get it put out there so that we wouldn't lose the Facebook connection. Hey guys, my name is Jason Hebert. You are tuned into Jason Hebert Live with me and my buddy right here, Detective Toby, who will be hanging out with us for tonight. A lot of you have been requesting he come on. Been getting a lot of requests, actually. If you're not familiar with the show, what we do is interview the loved ones of either missing persons and or unsolved crimes in an effort to help spread awareness, bring justice, and help these families get answers. Our show, as you can probably see, is interactive, so you can come into the chat and ask questions. So if we cover a case that you've been following for a while, give me 1 second. Let me mute this because the TV just went on in the background. I got to make sure we don't get some kind of copyright strike. So sorry. Give me 1 second. You guys can hang out with Toby. All right, we already have about 100 people here. Awesome. So we have a busy live already, and probably because everyone knew Toby was going to come. So Raj says, so sad to see the news. That's correct. It has been a heck of a sad news cycle, and we're going to be going over that a little bit before we go and bring on our guest tonight, who's Carol Crane. The show is about her. You guys have previously seen my interview with her when her son, Sawyer West, had went missing from his group home. And unfortunately, as you've seen by the title, he was found deceased. So Carol's going to go over some of the details of that case, as well as some of the struggles people go through when they have mental health issues like Sawyer did. And she's going to be going over some of the police protocol and the Washington state mental health department and things along those lines. I don't want to say that incorrectly, so I will let her explain that to you guys before I go into too many details. But thank you so much to everybody who has been watching, who has been sticking with us, as we haven't had a ton of interviews, because typically we're going every night, boom, 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 new interview. Hasn't been like that lately because of the holidays and because I was sick for a little bit. I wear myself down quite a bit doing this because I'm up for days at a time researching these. I'm going to be smoking tonight, which I usually never am, so I apologize for that. But this is the last second thing. So we have Toby with us, to everybody who's been requesting him constantly. So I will try to bring him on as much as possible. We also get a ton of requests for John Lorden since he co-hosted. John is absolutely, to me, the best in the biz. Anytime he wants to come on the show, he can. So any of you guys who say, we want John back, he knows and he wants to come back on. Just do keep in mind, he has a wildly successful channel of his own he has to run. Much more successful than mine, so he has to give that his attention naturally because that's his channel. And but he will be coming back on. So if you are one of the people that's been saying we want John back on, just know I am in contact with him. I do consider him a good friend now, and he will be back. And I couldn't agree with you more that he is the best in the biz. He's awesome. And my cigarette went out. Okay. Also, I just wanted to say, too, Grotto doesn't do much. I don't know if he's here today, but Grotto doesn't do true crime that much. At least he hasn't up until now. But to me, he's as good as anybody. I regard him as better than me. That's for sure. He just has a natural way about him. When he interviews people, he has a great tone of voice. He's great with handling people. And I think I'm very good at speaking to people. But Grotto is great. And I feel like, man, besides the stuff he does behind the scenes, he doesn't get enough credit. So if you find his channel, Mr. Grotto, and or if you want to see who he is, go to any of my Delphi interviews and you'll see him. He's the co-host on those, and he will be doing the interview on Tuesday when we interview Carrie Timmons, the mother of Delphi murder victim Liberty German. So Grotto is absolutely amazing. To me, Gray's amazing. You got like you got Gray, Grotto, and John. They're up there, as well as some other people that I'm not mentioning because they've never been on the channel. But to me, those are who I look up to. I think I do a very good job. I'm happy with my performance, but to me, they are the best of the best at what they do. And we all do something a little different. I've talked with that about Gray. He says, I couldn't do it exactly as you do it. And I say, I couldn't do it exactly as you do it. So we all have our own styles and ways of handling it. And I think they're awesome. So give Grotto some credit, guys. Grotto's a great man, Lisa. That's correct. Hello to everybody that's here. We have 135 people, so I can't really list people specifically. But for anybody who's not familiar with the Nashville bombing, there was a bombing in Nashville. They have actually identified the suspect. Let me see. I don't have his name here. Nashville bombing suspect. So he has been identified. This is all alleged, of course, until he's convicted. But Anthony Quinn Warner, he was, let me pull this up from the Tennessean, and I'll let you guys see it as I read it. I'm going to go over this real quick. Then there's something else going on with another RV. Let's go over this real quick since this is kind of a general news update show. And then we will bring on the tonight's guest who will go over the subject of tonight's show, which, as you know, is Carol Crane for her son, Sawyer West. Now, I'm also working on a morning show. I've been doing these kind of morning shows, but they've been very impromptu and just kind of out of nowhere. There hasn't been any real structure to them, but I've been trying to get people used to me broadcasting in the morning because I am going to start doing that. And I don't know if it's going to be daily or a few times a week or what, but I want to have a morning show. We talk about news and stuff. And then I will also continue to do our nighttime interviews. So it's going to start being a lot more content on this channel. And I absolutely will do everything I can to just keep improving and getting more equipment and a better setup and everything like that. Yes, Megan says about the subject, he can't be convicted because he's dead. That is correct. They, from what I understand, they're pretty dang sure, but they found his remains. They know it was him, and it was like a suicide bombing kind of thing. So probably his family, we'll start talking to his family, learning more, but this guy suicide bombed himself. I don't know what the heck's going on there, but his name is Anthony Warner. So, I guess rest in peace to him. I don't know what he did. It looks like he took steps and precautions to make sure as few people will be hurt as possible. So I guess give him credit there, but I can't give him too much credit when he damaged all those buildings, put all those people's lives in danger. I don't know what the heck that was about. But Anthony Warner has been identified. So let me read this real quick from the Tennessean.com. It says Anthony Quinn Warner, self-employed computer guru, ID'd as lone Nashville bomber, was killed in the blast. And he was 63 years old from Antioch, responsible for the Christmas morning bombing that left him dead and captured the nation's attention over the holiday weekend as officials worked to determine who parked an RV downtown to detonate. So whatever motivated him is still unknown. So there isn't too much known yet. Let me go ahead and see. Hang on, there's a second Tennessee truck. I don't know if they've figured that one out yet. I pray. Okay, so it looks like there was no device found in that truck. So hopefully it's unrelated and somebody just parked it there and that was it. So I don't know what's going on with that, what's going on with Tennessee, but I assumed it couldn't have been related because this guy is deceased. So we don't know what happened, if it was a copycat or what was going on. But that was awful. Most of you know I'm from Boston, and you're probably familiar with the Boston bombings. It reminded me of that. Just a couple of goofs, I guess, that who knows. We know what the motivation was for the Boston one, but we will learn with Anthony Quinn Warner. So, okay, we're up to 170 people. So I'd like to talk about tonight's guest and bring on Carol Crane. So I don't want... I can't believe I missed a live, Love Ann. He says, no, you didn't miss it. We just started. We are 9 minutes in, but I've been just kind of blabbering, guys, and talking about what I'm going to do. Lastly, before we bring Carol on, if you are an artist or know any artists, I want you to start having mugs so that as we start doing a morning show, we can drink our coffee together and talk about crime. And I want to have custom mugs that I can have you guys purchase or whatever. And that'll be fun. That's the only kind of merch I'm thinking of now. I feel weird about having t-shirts. If I do have t-shirts, I don't want to put my name and my face on them because I just feel so weird about that. Who wants this face everywhere they go? I don't even want it, and I have it. It's attached to my body. So we will be doing something, but you make mugs, Meseros? Okay, I'll have to talk to you. Anybody interested in art or mugs or anything like that, please message me. Same name, same picture on my Facebook, and we'll talk about some options. I do want to use a service like Teespring, so I don't have to have like 7,000 mugs in my house and worry about inventory. I just want to get a couple designs, put them through, and that'll be it. So hello to everybody. Kubi, Allie, Lisa. What about Toby's face? Actually, a lot of you that know Chris, she has co-hosted some interviews. She's become a good friend of mine. She's working on a Toby design that we will have on some mugs. So that will be one. I think I'll call it Toby Team. That might be what I call you guys. Everyone has a name for their subscribers. What about Toby Team or something? That's cute, right? So this mug on a mug? No. But this mug on a mug? Yeah, boy. Right? Looks like a stuffed animal. This is my buddy right here. He's looking like, what are you doing to me? But okay, guys, it has been quite a bit. So let me bring on, we're up to 185, 190 people. Let me bring on Carol. Carol, thank you so much. Oh, let me unmute you. That would be helpful. Thank you so much for being patient. I just wanted to do a little intro there. And I just want to say I'm so sorry for the outcome. We were praying for a positive one, obviously. So we're going to try to bring as much positivity to it as we can. But I just want you to know we're here for you. And I'm so sorry that he ended up being deceased.
Yeah, thank you.
So he was found like behind a college. Do you want to go over all the details of how he was found? Because to me, I was like, wait a second. How did he go so long not being found? What was the situation there? Go over that real quick. And then you go over what you wanted to about the mental health issues and the system.
Yeah. So do you want me to go back and just kind of give the whole scenario?
Yeah. Sure. Whatever you think will be the best way to lead into it. And the floor is yours. We're here for you.
Give a background to how he was found. But
absolutely.
Yeah. Sawyer walked away from his group home. We have video of him at 6:03 and then never returned. So we were notified the next day that he didn't make it back to his group home, and which then started our search to where he could be. Because the group home had told the police, after we contacted the police, they told the police that Sawyer had a tendency of walking away, which is a lie. He did not.
Oh, okay.
So the police did not start a search. So we, as a family and friends, searched for him. And what's really odd is the first place that we all felt to go was around this track. And the track goes around a golf club. It's about a 2-mile walk.
I think you had talked about this track previously, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because that's where he used to go and run. So there he is jogging. And so we figured that's where he would go if he went for a run. So we searched that place about 4 times, but there's big fences on either side of the trail that leads around the golf course. But it leads right into the Edmonds Community College and also the Linwood Police Evidence Storage Area. So after our searching and begging the police to go look for him, which they wouldn't do, finally a security guard found his body on the police's evidence parking lot behind a cargo storage, like a shipping cargo storage place. And so that's where he was. We were just feet away from him the whole time we were searching for him. But it's a big fence, and the police would never. We asked them to pull the cameras up in those areas. They never did until his body was found. And at that point, they do have video of him jumping the fence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how he was found, was a security guard. 35 days after he went missing.
So, but where he was and everything, it does make sense to you that it could have taken that amount of time? Because to me, I was like, is this suspicious or what?
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's a police officer's evidence lots where they bring evidence. So it makes no sense that his body wasn't found right away.
Hmm.
And then immediately, of course, after the body, they cleaned that lot up, so it doesn't even look the same.
Yeah, so that was the first. That was the first question. Is the death suspicious? So it sounds like you don't really know how to take it.
No, I don't know how to take it. From what we know about Sawyer's past, Sawyer has a mental illness, and so he doesn't think.
Did you say it was schizophrenia? Was it?
Yeah, he's schizophrenic. So he doesn't think like other people. His brain is full of voices and hallucinations and stimulus. So he could, go from being really normal, having a conversation with you, and then within a short amount of time, maybe he's chasing dragons, So what was going on with his brain at the time that he left the house, we don't know, because we haven't got any answers at all from the house. We have no idea if anybody saw him before he left, anybody had talked to him that day. We don't know if he ate dinner or if he had had any recent counseling. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And what I was talking about, or what I wanted to talk about, was our system, our mental health system, and how we treat people with severe mental illness. And it's really, I hate to say this word because people think it's offensive, but our system is the crazy one. Usually not the people that are using the system.
Right.
It's backwards.
So, right. They're placing the blame in the wrong place. It's the people, not the.
Yeah. Yeah. So when he walked away, and the house didn't take it seriously. So the police didn't take it seriously. So when I talked about what the police protocols are, they follow the lead of the doctors and the mental health society that will say to them, no, he's not an endangerment. But it wasn't after, it was 2 weeks later when we found his phone was still in his room, his ID and all of that, then the group home and the police took it seriously and put out an endangered persons alert.
Right.
That was on October 21st.
Yeah, so for anyone not familiar with this case that's jumping in here, you had a lot of questions about how the group home, why they said what they said, why mistakes were made. So we haven't made a lot of progress there either, right?
No, they actually have shut down all communication with me. So we do have a private detective, and we are going to go forward and investigate this.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at. But I don't know if a lot of people saw this show before and me talking about Sawyer's previous attempt for suicide, and that was on July 13th. So the one thing I haven't put out yet publicly is how Sawyer finally completed his suicide, but it's exactly how he did in July, which was he got a plastic bag and put it over his head. Now I keep trying to find out. I can't understand this. I went and I decided to investigate. If you put a plastic bag over your head and you pass out, your automatic system, even if you're unconscious, you will go to try to breathe. You'll tear it off, which he didn't do. So that's also, I keep kind of going on.
You're saying that he was found with the bag in this most recent time as well?
Yeah.
Oh, so he did the same thing again, apparently, or allegedly, let's say.
Yeah, yeah.
He just was successful this time. Wow.
Yeah, which is, I keep trying to go back to how a person could physically do that. And I don't know.
And why would he leave the house to do it? I guess you could say because he got caught last time, so he wanted more privacy. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what they think. Yeah, yeah. But, there's still the issues to me, that there's so many lies at the group home. And then also I went through Sawyer's phone records to me, and I had forgot about just a month before this happened, the first attempt, Sawyer was strangled by one of the other guys at his home. And Sawyer called me from his room, and he had locked himself in. So now I keep going back to thinking maybe there's more to this story than a simple suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, I'm kind of like, we've kind of set the thing that says, okay, well, Sawyer just wanted to get away from the demon, or maybe he was saying that he just wanted to meet Jesus. That's what he would say. I just want to meet Jesus and I'll be healed. So,
yeah, because you said that he was a Christian and very into his religion and everything, right? So that could have been something that was on his mind as far as you're concerned.
Yeah. So it's, we're, as a family, we've kind of settled on the fact that it was suicide, but my mind can't help but wonder, how did he complete that with a plastic bag? I just don't understand it.
Yes, he gets a plastic bag. How far was his body from? Well, how far as a crow flies, and then how far of a walk if you like that?
About half a block. Not far.
Not far.
No. He was
so he tries to do it, gets caught, then says, "I want to try again. Let me go somewhere no one can catch me." So this is a pretty private location where he went.
No, it's very busy. That's where I'm trying to figure out. But at night it would be closed up, locked up, but they have lights all the way around the building. And it's secured in a lot of areas with barbed wire, except for one area along the trail where Sawyer was able to get over it and jump into their lot.
Do we know why this other guy strangled him before? What was that about? Was he still living there during this one?
No, that guy had been removed, but he had a hallucination. He didn't know what he was doing.
So you're not suspicious of him? Do we know where he was? Like, no. I know he was somewhere else, but do we know he definitely didn't come and try to?
No, I have no idea where that guy is or what ended up with him.
Okay. And have we looked into cameras in the area? I know you had it initially, but since this happened?
We have asked for cameras several times. They have not been released to us, any video from the school or the police.
Wow. Okay. So again, I can't even, this is one of those things. It's like, I hate being the person who says the cliche thing that isn't really going to help you and is just saying it just to say it. I want to say something that is going to be beneficial to you, but I'm kind of at a loss as to what that could be. So I apologize if I get quiet for a moment. That's all it is I don't quite know what to say at some points.
Yeah.
Other than I'm sorry, of course.
And it's really, before this happened, I would have said, I'm sorry this happened to you, thoughts and prayers, all those things.
Yeah, those kind of.
Now it's just annoying as hell. Like, I mean, what do you have to be sorry for? You didn't do it. And thoughts and prayers, it just seems like a lazy man's way of just saying, look, sorry, sorry it happened.
Yeah. Sorry about that. He's in a better place. Those kind of things. It's like.
Oh, yeah. And when people say he's in a better place, I think, wouldn't a better place been that he got the mental health that he deserved, so that he could have a functioning brain and think properly and have a quality of life? Maybe that would have been a better place.
So how do you feel overall this was handled? If you could go back as far from because you wanted to talk about protocol, things like that, how things were handled, what would you like to see done differently for another person like yourself that has a son or daughter going through this? What would you recommend both to the mother like yourself, what she could do differently, and the people handling and providing the care? What could they do differently?
Well, I think that, we're in a slippery slope when we, try to take away anybody's privacy, right?
Yeah, right.
And nobody wants that. But when you have a severe mental illness that equals Alzheimer's or dementia or somebody with a severe brain injury, when you have somebody that isn't cognitive on their thoughts, they can't cook for themselves, they can't remember to take their own medications, that they have to have somebody supervise them. So they have a very severe mental illness. They should be in the same category as anybody with any other brain injury, a neurological
Yeah.
instead of a mental disorder. And with that would bring alerts. So if somebody walked away from the home, you would be immediately alerted to the police and surrounding police areas that this person walked away and they're endangered.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Washington State with an alert system for severely mentally ill folks. And I'd like to see the police work more with the parents, because they didn't take anything I said and they kept listening to the group home, which I found out later has had several problems. And the police know about it.
And was the campus of the school open or closed due to COVID?
Closed.
Rush.
Yeah.
That was closed. Okay.
Yeah.
1 second. I had a good. Okay, so yeah, we talked about this in the previous interview, but for anyone who didn't see it, so Lotus Flower asks, "Isn't the facility liable? They were responsible for his safety and welfare."
Yeah, I would think so too, because the majority, like I said, the majority of the facility had fenced it off with the barbed wire, because this is an evidence room. So anybody that was convicted of a crime, that's where your evidence was being stored. So it seems to me odd that somebody could easily get into that yard. There was just no protection on this one area.
Yeah, I feel and again, everything's alleged, and everything we talk about in this interview, nobody's being accused of anything. For anyone watching, if you're mentioned, or even if your name's not said, if you feel like you're being referred to, nobody's being accused. It's all alleged. But I can't help but feel that Sawyer was let down in so many ways.
But that's how I feel too. I feel like from the moment he got sick when he was 18, it's been nothing but a battle with our mental health system to get him any kind of care and to get him into a group home, one that would, that I could trust, or anybody should trust, that they're taking care of our family members. And to find out that they're not, that they don't really care. The facility he was in really, even afterwards, just act so nonchalant about Sawyer's leaving, and haven't even heard from him after we found out he died.
So Gregory Holstein, just so you know, there are people dealing. I like to let you guys know sometimes when there's people in chat who maybe didn't go through the exact same thing, but go through similar kind of situations. Gregory says, "My partner committed suicide after our son died. People really never know what to say, even if they mean well." So I wanted to say, Greg, I'm so sorry to hear that, Greg, about both your son and your partner. And yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say, is sometimes you don't know quite what to say because you can mean well, but
yeah, it's like I said, I didn't know either. Like, the one thing I was just telling somebody, is people sent a lot of flowers. And that, just from my own experience, that was so hard to watch the flowers wilt. Oh, it just hit me. And to throw the wilted flowers away was just one more step that was really hard.
Yeah, and that's one of those things I was referring to, where I'm like, do I say the cliche thing? Do I do the cliche thing, or am I actually hurting by doing or saying this? I get really kind of weird.
Yeah, you don't even know it till you go through it. Like I would never have known those things.
Because Sawyer I know he has a sister. Did he have any brothers, or is it just him and your daughter?
3. He has 3 sisters.
Oh, 3 sisters. Okay.
Yeah, and they're all
How are they hanging on by?
Really shook up over this. They miss their brother terribly, and our own guilt. Like, we feel we didn't do enough to protect him, but we don't know what else we could have done with the system that's in place today. We have very few options for severely mentally ill people.
Yeah. So you don't, and again, we don't know exactly for sure, but it sounds like you're definitely not leaning towards like something like murder. Hopefully not, right?
No, we don't
Okay.
believe so. I just, I think your mind just goes through crazy things when you're trying to figure out all the answers.
Right. Okay. So what else, as far as, so that kind of covers the mental health aspect. You wanted to talk about the police protocol as well. Is there anything
Yeah,
specific you want to go over
yeah.
regarding
The
that? How do you
police
think they?
protocol was that we kept telling them where we thought maybe Sawyer might have gone. So we're right on the Edmonds and Linwood police line. He was a block away from Linwood. But the Linwood police never had bulletins out. They weren't looking for him. So we kept asking the Edmonds police, did you call Linwood? Did you call the nearby cities to keep an eye out for him? Or maybe look for him? Or maybe he's injured somewhere. But until we could get that endangered person alert, they were not alerting other counties or cities.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd like to see a more interactive community. If you're bordering another city, why wouldn't you communicate with another city?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely something. It sounds like if you could contact the authorities and maybe give them some suggestions, it sounds like you have a lot of good ideas. A lot of times that's what it is. It's just little groups that don't think of the proper way to connect and do things, how things flow. It just isn't ideal. It isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? Not ideal, but it's not the most efficient way how they do things. It sounds
Right.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not sure within the cities, what agreement they have with each other, but it would be nice if they could come up with something for shared information on cases, especially when you're that close.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
Megan Brianna asked, was there an autopsy done? And what have police said about? I know you said you don't think it was suspicious, really, but have they said anything in those?
I have not got the autopsy report, and I don't have any police reports yet. And our private detective will probably go and try to get those so we can get further information. I'm not sure if I want to read them, but I'll let the private detective read them.
Okay. Oh, so it sounds like we're at a bit of a standstill here. I just want to say,
It's amazing how everybody has shut down. The police won't talk.
This has been the worst year, like for everything, and it's for you, obviously, especially, and ending on this note is like, it feels like everything's falling apart.
Everything is. It's just so bizarre, and I think for people coming up behind me, I pray I don't want it to happen. I hate to be the one to give out advice. It's not anything I ever intended in my life to do. But it's persistence. You got to yell louder than anybody else. And as crazy as people think you are, you got to even be crazier because, for instance, the police department, when I say closed down, they literally were closed down. You couldn't walk into their office because of COVID. So
that only makes things worse that are already bad.
Yeah, and our detective, in the middle of our investigation, her dog got sick and she missed about a week of work.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was time we're like, right, okay, I love animals. Believe me, I do. But why wasn't there somebody else we could talk to? Well, your dog needed to get better. But because everybody's closed and you can't go inside the building to get help, there's really no place to throw a fit.
Right. Well, somebody made a good point earlier. They said it takes someone like you, Carol, to make these changes. And it really does because, a guy like me or something that's just here and he has the right intentions, but, he has a boss he has to worry about. And at the end of the day, he has to try to keep his job. So he's trying to work, he's trying to help people, but he's told by his superiors, hey, don't push this. And things don't get done there. It takes someone like you that's like, hey, my son went through a lot. He wasn't done the right way. Things weren't done the right way. He was done wrong. Take someone like you pushing and being that loud voice, like you say, to really make the changes that are necessary. So you're 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I commend you for what you've done so far. And I know you're going to stick with it. And, all you can do is try to get him justice and set things in motion so that, no one else has to go through what Sawyer did and can find the right help.
Yeah, because even my main thing is that there's going to be other parents that are missing. I mean, you do this all the time. You talk to the parents and how sad that is. But think about all these kids that are in these group homes whose parents had already abandoned them.
Right.
Sawyer was lucky. I'm such a mama bear, but there was a lot of kids in there that were abandoned a long time ago. And if they went missing, nobody would care.
Right.
That's why I think this alert system is so important, because if they don't have somebody like me screaming and yelling, they have nobody.
Right. And let me know. Hey, we got a few hundred people in here now. A lot of people trying to support you. I put your link, as you know, in the description, so people will contact you. What's the best way? If I'm assuming there's at least a few people, probably mama bears like you, sitting in the chair right now, going, "Oh my God, this poor kid! I want to help." What can people do at this point to help you out? Is there anything you can think of, or do you want people to just contact you and you'll kind of work it out as it goes along?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing some stuff here in the future, maybe some little protests, actually. I've been thinking of a few things to do to bring attention to this. But also I've been working with a group, and I think I mentioned them before. They're called NAMNE, National Association for the Mental Illness. Have a flyer here.
Man, let me put you on the, let me get rid of that. Okay, there we go. NAMNE.
And I'm working with them quite a bit on reaching out to legislators and representatives. And the thing that we want is that our representatives to be aware of our healthcare system. And then also when we're talking about COVID, is that one thing that happened this year. Sawyer was doing really well till the shutdowns. So,
you were saying that really affected him. Yeah.
Yeah. So in February, when his group home got shut down, he didn't get to see his counselors face to face. He didn't have his group sessions anymore. So that really affected him in being isolated. We have to sneak out to bring him McDonald's and things that he wanted to eat. And I think there's a certain sect of people or subsect of people that cannot go through a lockdown and come out healthy on the other side. They have to be involved with their counselors. Sawyer wasn't going to do Zoom or phone calls. He needed to be face to face. And the counselors need to check on him to see if they could see physically if Sawyer was doing odd behaviors or maybe he looked a little different. That way they could tell if the medications are off.
Allie Johnson says, Carol, have you thought about selling wristbands in memory of Sawyer for us to purchase? May help with funds to move forward with fighting for justice for people like Sawyer.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I wear this green one right now, which Sawyer wore because he was running for Hero House, which is part of NAMNE.
You want to show that again?
So,
cool.
Advocacy group. So we are thinking of trying to do a run. Sawyer was training to do a half marathon. And so we would like to do one in his name, but the proceeds would definitely go back to help people with mental illness.
If you do put something like that together, can you tell me? And I'll definitely put it on my Facebook, and I'll try to see if I can find a way to get it in a video. Because I'd like to do. See, a lot of what I do, we have at least some hope. You never know, they're missing, and they could still come. But I've only done a few of these where it's kind of like where they were found deceased. We have a lot of people that we've helped find that were not deceased, and obviously there's a lot you can do from there. but there's such a finality, of course, to this. And it really bums me out because I always want to feel like I'm helping contribute to a positive outcome. So when I'm in a situation like this, I'm like, man, what the heck can I do to help Carol, to help anyone? And so if there's anything, please bring it along to me. I'll push it forward because I feel so like helpless, right? Obviously not nearly as much as you. So I don't mean like that. You know, you're dealing with 100 times than any of us are. But I wish there was more I could do to help you out.
Yeah. I guess I think going forward, it's just really making sure that we are advocates for those people that can't stand up for themselves. You know, I think it's like 70% of our homeless people have some sort of mental illness.
Is that what the statistics are? 70%?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that they will support you, Carol, if there's anything. If you start like a GoFundMe, anything. Once you put together something, once you really flesh it out and get all the ideas, say, here's what we're going to do to help others, please let us know. I got a lot of people that watch this channel, so I guarantee I could bring you some people that would be of help, both locally and online. I'd imagine so for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the group that brought me to you, the Texas group.
That was Karen.
Yeah, Karen. She's been reaching out, and even in her own sorrow. So, yeah, what wonderful group. So, yeah, I just hope we don't have to.
It's just finding the right people. I know.
Yeah.
It's one of those clubs. You never want to be a part of that club, but once you're there, all you can do, buckle down and say, you know what? I went through this. I just want to help other people from going through this sorrow, this mental hell.
Yeah. It's, it's really odd. I think that searching for him for those 35 days, like I had a task. I was busy every day and my checklist. And so I wasn't prepared, I think. Even though in the back of my mind, I kind of felt that we would be searching for a body. It's so different after you find out it's true.
Oh, Carol, my heart goes out to you. As you know, I do this constantly. I deal with hundreds, if not thousands of people, but I could never be on that side. So I couldn't even imagine. All I can say is I'm here for you. Please, please keep me and my subscribers updated. We have more people offering to help in this. I don't know if you can see the chat. It's moving quick, but we have more people offering to help right now than I've ever seen. So you got a lot of support coming.
Thank you. I do see one, and they're asking about our crisis hotline.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of suicide crisis hotlines, and then also we do have kind of a trauma. So if somebody is having a mental episode, hallucinations or something, there's supposed to be somebody we call, which I tried to call several times. But I get the same answer I have for the last 10 years is, well, what do you want us to do about it? They have every right to act that way or run away it's our system just sucks.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I don't deal with a lot of stuff. I'm kind of a younger guy, and I avoid like a lot of medical stuff and everything. So, but anytime I talk to anyone who deals with anything in the mental health spectrum or just health insurance, anything, all I hear is just nightmare stories.
Yeah, and we're in the United States, by God. We're the greatest country in the world and has some of the worst healthcare. Yeah, it's we have to change it.
Yeah. I don't even know where to begin, but sometimes I'm kind of naive and I just think like, well, smarter people than me are handling this. But then you see where it all goes, and I'm like, maybe not.
I know. I think the same way. Yeah, because it's easy to, I think that as anybody, I mean, you're doing such a great thing.
Thank you.
Majority of us, we sit on our couch and we watch you or anybody like you and go, oh gosh, because it's really hard to figure out what to do because there's so many issues. And I think for anybody that wants to get involved especially anybody that are watching you in this program, is really supporting those families. The best thing that happened to me was Karen and her group and the flyers and helping me set up the GoFundMe account.
Oh, is that still going, your GoFundMe?
No.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I can link it here.
Yeah. So, but those really helped, and just the private messages they sent me, because it was like when you want everything out in the public, but people in the public don't always say the nicest things. But they were always messaging me, and that really helped out a lot. So
Who was it that was messaging you that helped out?
Karen and her group, she had about 3 ladies that were, if not daily, every other day messaging me.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know Karen, geez, I don't even have her last name on the top of my head. I haven't talked to her in like a month, but she's someone that sends me a lot of interviews and things like that. Amazing woman, amazing group. She's the Missing East Texas 8 and Beyond. If you want to check her out on Facebook, she helps these families a lot. And I don't really want to put her personal business out there. I don't know how much she wants out there, but she's dealing with her own familial crisis right now. So it's just amazing that she helps people as much as she does, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then, eventually I'll get to a point where I can probably be a resource, for others.
It's people like you that end up helping the most people because you've been through it, People are always giving me credit, saying, oh, what you do is so great. But I kind of feel like I don't do nearly enough. I feel so helpless with what I do. I help spread the word and awareness and stuff, and I'm proud of that. But I just often, I don't know, maybe I have too high expectations. I just often leave myself with a feeling of like, I just wish I could do more,
Yeah, I always say though, like with you, is that you connect people to, and it takes just one person to find a person. So out of 1,000 people or 2,000 people or 3,000 that you reach, out of all of those, one person could find a person.
Yeah, it only takes one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the more you can get it out there, the more chances that missing people can be found. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we've had, like I said, some are positive outcomes, some are negative. But I want to say, I think this is maybe like my 75th interview. So I've done over like 200 videos, but since I started doing the interviews, it's been about 75. And I want to say anywhere in like the 8 to 12 range have been found. So it's been a good amount. I'm not saying I directly are the one that did it, but, I like to think on some of them we at least contributed by getting the message around. So it's been a good amount of them. So that's one thing I'm very happy with. And it shows me, oh, okay, this does play a part in at least moving towards a resolution. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I think too, it's like anything in life when you have to go to something, let's say childbirth or cancer or whatever your event is, if it's hard to know where to go. And it just takes, this connection to connect you to somebody else, and that's kind of how it happened for me in meeting you and a lot of other people that helped us along the way.
Have you talked to a lawyer? Lotus Flowers says talk to a lawyer as far as negligence. And again, no accusations. This is just a maybe.
We have looked into lawyers. We haven't picked one yet, and we'll probably have our private detective help us find somebody, because I'm not quite sure what type of attorney I'm supposed to be looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, but we would because we have to, at this point, we heard from the group home that they won't release any of their procedures or protocols or Sawyer's records until we do get them petitioned, or whatever it's called, that an attorney sends them a notice to give it to us.
Okay, well, let us know once you decide to take that route, if we can do anything. It sounds like you may have a case, and who knows where it could lead. Again, it's all about helping others, right? Because it's not about like, can you win the case? It's about, will it set something in action that helps others moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want this group home shut down, but right. What we want is procedures inside that group home that has a safety net for people that may be suicidal or more severely ill and need more help. So that's what we would like to see.
Claudia V asks, was that a lockdown facility?
No, they could leave when they wanted. But that was the other thing I found out. I asked him after I found out the Sawyer had been strangled, did they have any cameras? And they were telling me they don't have any cameras on their facility. I think that's odd. I mean, I think in public areas of the group home, you would have something to be monitoring people, or even if they go outside, who left, who came in.
Right.
Yeah.
I was wondering why Sawyer ran to go do that. You would think he'd maybe want to be, if he was going to go do something to himself, maybe be more relaxed about it and walk out, but he ran from the home. I thought that was kind of odd.
I did too. And he was wearing his jogging clothes.
Yeah.
So I still.
Is it possible he didn't plan to do it when he left? Oh, no, because he brought the bag, right?
No, he didn't bring a bag. We think that he found that bag maybe on the police site. And then also, he had his phone charging, like he was going to come back. It does. We're really, like, if he made that decision, it was like right then and there. I'm going to jump the fence and go kill myself.
Yeah, this needs to be looked into further. I just don't even know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, he had already made plans for Halloween. He had his phone charging. My daughters found that on his going through his history on his computer, that he was setting up a dating website, like he wanted to date somebody.
Oh, wait, setting up a date? You mean setting up a profile to date someone?
Yeah, on a dating website or dating site.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Had he ever done that before?
He did that day.
That was his first time ever?
Oh, of getting a dating site?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. No, but he was trying to set one up. I don't know that he did eventually set it up, but they found it in his browser.
Yet everybody asking about saying, wait, he was strangled? Yeah, he previously was attacked and strangled by someone who was moved to a different home. So if you didn't see that in the interview early, you might want to go back and watch it. But this is a weird one, guys.
Yeah. There's just a lot of answers the family would want to know about that day. What happened when he was happy at 3 p.m. and dead by 6?
But is that the time of death, right around 6?
Well, the last video of him, the jogging video, was at 6:03.
Okay.
So between that and, like I said, the police have not given us the video of him jumping the fence and what time that was. So, but they do see him rummaging around their facility and then going behind the storage unit and not coming back out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's give a moment for a couple more questions to build in the chat. We're getting around to the hour mark, so we'll start winding down here, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you're not familiar with the channel, we do, like I said, we've interviewed Carol previously. We interview the families of either missing persons and or unsolved crimes. We're looking to expand out as well into doing some more things too. So we'll see going forward. We're going to be doing kind of like a news show with crime. But please click subscribe, set the notification bell to all if you are interested. As you see, the show is interactive. You can ask them questions and try to help actually solve the cases. So you get the story directly from the horse's mouth and you get to participate instead of just watching some YouTuber tell their version of it. So it's a little bit different than most shows. For anyone who has contributed towards the show or would like to, in the description, we have everywhere where you can do that. The best way to do it, it's been absolutely, you guys have been amazing. You've kept me afloat. Literally, I don't know what I would have done without this channel, but you have kept me afloat over the holidays. You've made it so that I could have a holiday. So if you do decide you want to help the channel, the link is in the description and I did put it there. That's the best way for you guys to do it. www.paypal.me/JasonHebert1. That is if you guys do decide you want to help support the show, because we have had to start doing a lot less interviews because I've been working. So I just want to put that out there for you guys, for anyone that is interested in helping the show I'd like for this to become my primary focus, help as many families as possible. So for anyone that would like to help out, that is how you can do it, because people ask that every single show. I get that question. Carol, is there anything I didn't think to ask that you feel is important? What I'll do is I'll kind of put, focus in on you there. And is there anyone you'd like to get a direct message to, or, anything you'd like to get out there?
Yeah, just one more thing is the one message that my daughters and I keep trying to get across to everybody with people with mental illness is that Sawyer wanted a friend. And he had asked several people throughout the years, tried to contact them and ask them to hang out with him. And very few people ever answered his plea to have a friend. And I was his best friend. He hung out with me all the time. And I would think, gosh, he really would do well if he had a best friend, a buddy to hang out with. And I think to just know that people that have a mental illness is like any other disease.
What about if you set up something online, almost like a pen pal kind of thing, where they can find a friend? What about something like that?
Yeah, we just started cards that are called Friends of Sawyer. And yeah, we'll be sending those out to, we're not quite sure how to get that going to people with mental illness. Right now, a couple moms have reached out to me and given me their address, and I'll be sending cards out to their sons. And I had people at Sawyer's Memorial sign these cards with messages, and most people were so loving and just telling the people. So I have 60 cards right now to send out, and they're just saying, hey, you're not alone. I'm here for you. And, hang in there is kind of what's being said. But the cards are called Friends of Sawyer.
Okay, that's an awesome idea. I did also just put the National Suicide it won't let me do it till we finish. So when we're done, I will put the number to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. I think that could be a really good idea. Yeah. And I like your idea for the Friends of Sawyer, but I wonder if we could also, on top of that, do like some kind of an online thing, whether it be a Discord board or some kind of website where like you get a buddy, like, and you can be friends with everyone, but maybe you have one like dedicated buddy where you can really talk to a friend, something like that. Yeah. Kind of what you're doing. But online as well, on top of the cards. I'm thinking maybe we can talk about something like that.
It's really amazing because young men, that have a mental illness are really looking for a mentor. And young women need to talk to other young women. So it's not, they don't want to hang out with their mom.
Right. Yeah.
They're boring.
Your mom's your best friend, but you need a real best friend on top of it. Right.
Yeah.
Different kind of best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would love to see something like that.
I think that's an incredible idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Rachel Newman says she's working on something like that.
Oh, so. Awesome. Yeah, that's what everybody needs. And I think the one thing about COVID, and I keep telling people, is isolation kills. You got to stay connected one way or another. Everybody needs that.
Give me 1 second. We got a troll I got to get rid of here. All right. Okay. So I'm going to sleep on it for a couple nights, and we'll see on the Friends for let's keep it Friends for Sawyer, but let's see how we can grow it out. Maybe we'll talk to Rachel, see if she can incorporate something with what she's doing and what you're doing. Maybe we can grow this and really help some people. Yeah,
it'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Rachel, contact me and also contact Carol, and let's see how we can, see how we can grow this. Annie says, is that love Annie? Is that a friend of yours? I kind of got that sense going through. Is that someone that knows Sawyer, or?
I can't see them.
You don't know them? Okay. Where'd they go?
Yeah, I've only seen one thing at a time.
Oh, I see. Oh, you see the ones I'm popping up, but there's a whole chat aside from that.
Well, Julie is a good friend of mine. She's lost 2 children. She knows my pain. And so it's nice that she said she would help. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Bobby guy's gone, but the person who just said troll needs to go. Are you a troll? Because your name is a troll name. So, you know, guys, I'm all for trolls too. They're funny, but not in an interview like this, guys. This is not something, you know, if it was just hanging out and you guys wanted to goof on me, that's fine. But this isn't a place where trolls need to be, guys. So I'm not going to well, just go by the first name. I'm not going to boot you, but that I got my eye on you, bud, because that name is trollish. So how we got rid of Bobby. But so okay, Lotus Flower put the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yeah, I do have that, and I will put that as soon as we finish, guys. I can't put it now because StreamYard doesn't let you do it while you're in the middle of the show. But all right, Carol, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so sorry we kind of did this last second, guys, and I had the dog I was dealing in the beginning, so we did it as professional as possible. But my show is very relaxed anyways. We keep it conversational, so this is kind of the feel for it if you're new here. But guys, yeah, please subscribe, set the notification bell to all. If more happens on this case, we can bring Carol back on. But we do this at least a few times a week. We interview people who are the victims of crimes and missing persons, and we try to help out. And you guys can always ask questions. So, you know, please subscribe. And Carol, you did an amazing job again representing for Sawyer. And thank you so much for coming on tonight. We tried to do this many times, and we almost didn't do it tonight. So thank you for making it happen.
Yeah, it was a hard few weeks. You know, I thought I could, and then I wasn't having a good day. So thanks for
understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for doing this. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, you're a good connector. So
thank you. Yeah. That's what I tried. It's one of my few skills in this world. I don't have many of them, but I think I'm pretty good at talking to people, and I'm pretty good at making people feel comfortable. I think it's because I'm kind of like goofy and laid back, and everyone like I don't come like welcome to the Jason Show with like a suit. I'm just more like, hey, what's up? And there's like a dog next to me, so I think people feel comfortable and they like to talk because of it. So I think it all works out for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
All right. Well, let me know. Keep me updated. I'm going to talk to Rachel, see if we can. Rachel, it probably won't be tonight, Rachel, because I got to do some stuff with Toby. He's not feeling well. I got to give him his medicine, take him out. That's my dog. He's 17 years old and he's sick. So it probably will be tomorrow morning or tomorrow day, Rachel. We'll see how we can. We'll see exactly what you're doing, how we can incorporate it with what Carol's doing for the Friends of Sawyer, and we'll take it from there and see if we can help some people out. I'm always looking to grow this, and any way we can. I'm open because I don't know anything about technology or any of this stuff. So any way we can combine stuff and all work together, I'm for it.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Everybody that asked questions and that are following this, I appreciate all of it.
Yeah, if you come back on, I don't know if on the phone, sometimes it's hard to see the chat, but if you come back on the laptop once we finish here, you'll see there's probably been like 2,000 comments throughout. It's constant people commenting. So I know you said you're going to see one at a time, but you'll see very, very, I'm sorry, many, many more if you come back on and watch it. So you have tons of support.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much to everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, Carol. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. I will put it in the description. But please, if you are having any thoughts like that at all, please go ahead and call that hotline. And to the person who I've talked to you many times in the chat, you've been in many of the lives. I don't want to say your name out loud and put you on the spot, but you've talked many times about that you're struggling with some things. Please contact me. You know who you are. First name begins with D. I'll say that. Please contact me on Facebook. Same name, same picture. I'm easy to find, and we'll try to put you in touch with somebody who, because I'm not a professional, so I'm not the person to talk to, but I can put you in touch with someone who is. And because there's a lot of people in chat worried about you, please do it. I've asked you multiple times, but that's another good thing, Carol, is things like this is bringing people who also need help. So you're already helping people, whether you realize it or not.
Well, I hope that I hope D does reach out. And no, D, hey, D, your life matters. Please reach out.
A lot more than you think. You are.
Oh, yeah.
You're an amazing person, even if you don't realize it. And a lot of people care about you a lot more than you realize too. I could guarantee you.
Yeah, I care about you.
You're amazing, Kara. All right. We're going to keep in touch, and we're going to try to spread this and help some more people. So I'll talk to you shortly. Sometime tomorrow, I'll message you once I talk to Rachel.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
thanks, guys. I love you all. Thanks for joining us here on Jason Hebert Live. Have a great night. Click that subscribe button. Set the notification bell to all. You will be notified every time we go to upload a new show. Thank you so much to everyone who's been supporting and helping keep us alive, because without that, there's only so much we can do. All right, have a great night to everyone. Rest in peace to Sawyer. I'm so sorry for it, but we're going to make sure that it's not in vain, and he's going to live on and help many others.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you. I love you.